Hello, Team Kids leaders. This is the 4th through 6th grade weekend preview video for September 18th and 19th. Let's get going. So starting last week, we began a series focusing on the importance of creativity. And we discussed last week how much more creativity is than just the idea of putting a pen to paper or just another technical skill that we have in our tool belt. Creativity is a big concept, and it's something that God has built in to every single one of us. And so we just want to re-emphasize that this week and start with this definition of creativity, that creativity is the mindset that sees the potential for transformation, and it sees it in things and people, and it's especially in areas where darkness is present, which is a theme that we see in the Bible for how things are when they are untouched or they're detached from the presence of God, which is what brings light into every situation. So when we see something that's formless or void or out of order, we see that there's a need for a solution, and that's where creativity comes in. And it goes beyond, like I said, when we just use our technical skills like putting a pen to paper. It can be when we're hungry and we need to find food. It can be when we're in pain and we need to find healing. There's so many opportunities for creativity in our world, and that's what we're going to be discussing today with this weekend with the kids. We're going to be building on what we learned last week, and specifically, we're going to be focusing on what happens when our creativity is stumped. What happens when we're struggling to be creative, and where do we go when we need to identify opportunities to be creative? All right, let's look at the activity that we're going to do this weekend for how we can build on that idea. For the activity and small group time today, we're going to be building on an idea that they start to press into in the Loop Show, and that is, how do we be creative when we're struggling for inspiration? And the good news is that God has given us lots of incredible resources to help us spark creativity in our lives. And one of the greatest resources that God has given us is community, people. And it's a value that we have in the classroom. And it's something that we try and press kids into every single week, is the importance of having people around us who can inspire us and push us towards the direction of Jesus. And so for the activity this week, practically what it's going to look like is each kid's going to have a blank piece of paper in their bag, and you're going to hand them a pen, and they're going to have 30 seconds. So you're going to need to get a timer out on your phone or something, but they're going to have 30 seconds to draw something onto their piece of paper, which isn't a lot of time to be creative, and that is intentional. So after 30 seconds, they'll pass their picture along to the person sitting next to them, and it'll go in a circular order, and the goal is to have their picture go all the way around and come back to them, and to see the way that other people's creativity can have an impact on our life, and it can inspire us to be more creative. So that's the idea behind the activity. There's lots of fun ways to kind of press into it, and I'll bring up some of those ideas this weekend. But the hope is that they'll see how the activity is done, so they can take this activity home and do it with their family. That's actually the challenge step that they have on their cards, is to do this activity at home with their family and talk about how they can be creative as a family and help each other be creative as a family together. Look for ways that they can serve each other, care for each other, and love each other, help each other be motivated to bring light into the world around them. So that's the activity for this weekend. That's the topic. We'll be meeting in the classroom 30 minutes prior to service for our huddle. Please wear your Team Kids shirts, and I'm excited as we continue in this series. It's a fun one, talking about creativity. I will see you guys this weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.